You're listening to Up The Turnpike with hosts Mitch Anderson and Matt O'Leary.
Hello, everyone. The Islanders lose 2-1 in overtime. I'm your host, Mitch Anderson. Welcome to Up The Turnpike. Matt O'Leary is away today doing Jet stuff because the Jets are equally as good as the New York Islanders right now. It's not even rubbing my face as if like I'm so mad that they lost, and I'm like you. The losses are losses at this point. Whatever. It is what it is. We all know what to expect from this team at this point. It's just that the game could have been won. It could have. Like, Montreal wasn't that good, but neither were we, obviously. It's just awful that for the number of times that they go to overtime, they just can't seem to figure out a way to play overtime. Patty had to call a timeout in overtime to settle his troop. Anyways, we'll get through the proceedings of the game as we go through this post game. Just starting off the show feeling like poop, because that's what happens. Even if you're tanking like the San Jose Sharks or not, any loss is a bad loss. It feels like poop. So first period starts and it was sloppy as hell. It really was. 7 shots for the Habs, 5 for the Montreal for us. Not a whole lot to talk about. They had a power play, so did we. We didn't do anything with it, nor did they. It was just two teams stinking up the joint in the Bell Center, which kind of stinks double. It wasn't an enjoyable first period at all whatsoever, but at least you're on the road. You don't go down a goal in the first period. You still have 40 minutes to build yourself into this game. Fine, whatever. I can kind of take a quiet first period. That's okay. And then the second period, they kind of show up, right? 17 shots on net to the 11 by the Montreal Canadiens. The Islanders get 2 power plays. Josh Anderson gets for interference. Amber Shekai, I think that's how you pronounce it, for tripping against Brock Nelson. And they do absolutely nothing on those power plays. Sam Montembeault was pretty good himself, but like they don't do a whole lot with it. But on Montreal's 1 power play opportunity in that second period, they get a power play goal from Patrick Laine. You can see the visualizer. They kind of work it between each other, creating a little bit of space for Patrick Laine to step into. Watch how Jean-Gabriel Pageau gives him that space, and he rifles it in. Sorokin probably could have done a little bit better on that one, I think. It's hard to crap on a goalie on the power play. Just don't take the penalty. Just don't take it. But that's going to happen. Penalties are going to be called, and the Islanders are one of the more disciplined teams in the NHL. So I think like maybe Sorokin could have done better on that one, but maybe don't put him in a position to do that or need to make that save. Either way, not great. They score on the power play. We're not doing a whole heck of a lot. Doesn't look good. Until all of a sudden Anders Lee scores his 11th goal of the year. We've got control of the puck in their zone. And Noah Dobson does a great play here along the blue line to keep it in. Just throw it towards the net because he saw Anders Lee there. Let me back it up to the beginning if I can. Of course, I can't like timestamp it there, but I'll try to pause it exactly where I want to pause it. Right here. Watch. He sees it. He sees the lane open. It's either he's going to get it to Anders Lee or he's going to get it to Oliver Wahlstrom. One of the two. Dobson makes a hell of a play on the blue line there to get it towards the net, and then Anders Lee does the rest. Samuel Montembeault does a great first save, but can't get the second one. So good job there. Good tenacity by Anders Lee to just follow it through. And you're tied late in that second period. So thankfully you go into the third period tied and not behind. Although with how the Islanders play in the third period, maybe being behind to start it is a good thing. I don't know. Look at some comments here before I get into the third and then overtime and close out the game. Nick Canetta says, no one wants to see this team win more than me, but under no circumstances can they not sell Nelson and Palmieri. If Lou doesn't, it should be an immediate fireable offense. I think everyone agrees with you. I don't think there's anyone out there, or there shouldn't be anyone saying you need to keep Brock Nelson and Kyle Palmieri going forward. That's not to say they're not good. Obviously, Kyle Palmieri and Brock Nelson have been excellent all year. That's for sure. But with the return that you can get from these guys, it would facilitate any retool that you can pull on the fly. 100%. That would help a whole heck of a lot. So you have to deal those two guys if and when the time comes. I don't know about your next comment, Nick. I don't think they were outplayed by Montreal. In overtime, they were. So if you're saying they were completely outplayed by Montreal of all teams in overtime, I totally agree with you. But when it comes to just in general, I don't think they were outplayed. They were as equally poor as the Montreal Canadiens, I thought, today. To Anthony says, I can't stand this team, but I'm glad we lost. I want us to bottom out so management will finally realize we need to rebuild and start trading off some of these guys. I think he continues with the next one. If Lou is stubborn and lets UFAs like Palms, Nelson just walk away at the end of the year, we should put a hit on Lou. We will not do that, but I know you're being dramatic, like you're adding dramatism to that comment to make it sound threatening, but we're not going to threaten anyone out there. But I kind of also, I think I kind of get the joke now, as Lou is, I get it. But you're not wrong. Again, just kind of like what Nick was saying, that we need to be able to trade some of these players and get assets back for them to facilitate any retool or rebuild, or however you want to call it. I'm calling it a retool. I don't think it's a rebuild. Either way, you need to trade those guys and not just let them walk as free agents. That would be catastrophic to let those two players walk if they're anywhere near a 30-goal player. Even if they're 20-goal players, you have to trade those players and get assets back for them. Joe's saying the Caps retool and they have picks. Lou trades every pick in sight. Bridgeport has not had a prospect in 10 years. Well, that's not, yeah, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, that there hasn't really been anyone that kind of, any blue chip prospect in Bridgeport. Totally agree. There hasn't. There has been some interesting prospects for sure. Alex Jeffries is doing his darndest this year. Matthew Maggio last year was interesting. Williams Four as well. But you're right. There has not been, let's say, a blue chip prospect in Bridgeport just lighting the lamp, just killing it in Bridgeport, just banging on the door to, I am ready for the NHL. We haven't had one of those guys in a long while. Maybe Cole Eiserman could be that guy, but it's still early in the year for him. So, and P.S. congrats on, getting selected for Team USA ish. At least he's selected to camp. I'm sure he makes the team, but congrats to Cole Eiserman. Anyways, so we go to the third period and another stink bomb. The third period, it stunk. Nothing happened in the third period whatsoever. 6 shots by the Islanders, 7 by the Montreal Canadiens. There were no power plays either, no penalties taken, although arguably there could have been some. Just a stinker of a penalty of a period in terms of generating any sort of offense whatsoever. Like, if I bring up natural stat trick, I think it's also going to add that there was nothing going on in that period at all. So let me pull it up here and then share this tab instead. In the third period, straight up 16-16 shot attempts at 5-on-5, which is where the entire period was played. High danger attempts, 3 for us, 4 for them. Expected goals, 0.7 to 0.67. We had the edge at 51.3%. It was not a good period for either team. There just wasn't a whole lot going. And after a while, you can tell that both sides were trying to play for the point. Within the final 5 minutes, maybe even 6 minutes, you can argue, they were both playing for the point. Thankfully, at the end of the third period, oh my God, we finally get some luck with the referees, where Maxim Siplakov gets assessed a 2-minute a double minor for a high stick to, I think it was Lane Hudson's face. He caught him here. But on review, it's clear that Mike Matheson lifts his stick like a madman and it whacks Lane Hudson in the face. So it's not Maxim Siplakov's fault. Penalty gets rescinded. There were 5 seconds left in the game when that penalty was called. So we would have had 5 seconds of penalty kill at the very end of the game. And then basically all of overtime on the penalty kill. So thank God that the refs were able to review that and took it off the board. Thank God for that. But it didn't really do anything for us because we hit the bed in overtime. It was horrendous. I'm only watching Anders Lee speak now. He doesn't look too pleased, but when does he? I can't wait to hear what Patrick Roy has to say in the post game after that stinker in overtime, because it wasn't just the goal. The goal was lucky. It bounced off of Bo Horvat's stick or skate and right into the path of Nick Suzuki. It was the X's and O's that the Islanders, just couldn't figure out. As Nick said earlier, I know he didn't mention overtime, but like the Islanders were completely outplayed by the Montreal Canadiens in that third period. And it wasn't because the Islanders couldn't keep up skate-wise. It's an X's and O's thing. They had no idea where they were supposed to be or what they were supposed to do. And they were just wildly passive. They stacked up 3 players on the blue line, allowing Montreal to come in with all kinds of speed, and just they had nothing. They couldn't do nothing about it. When they finally caught a break on a loose puck, they sent it forward, and they just generated nothing with it. Noah Dobson took a weak shot on Montembeault, who patted it away, sent it back the Islanders' end. Bo Horvat tried to like go through someone as if he has the Riz right now, or the gall, as if what's the word I'm looking for? It's like oh God, I can't think of the words here, where it's just like he's got the audacity to try something that he is just not in the form to pull off. Like Bo Horvat is in no shape to pull off this kind of like high danger attempt to go around a player as he gets a shot on net. Like, it's just way too audacious of an attempt. I think that was the word I was looking for. And obviously it fails, and then it comes back and it bounces off his skate and into the net, and we lose. Still get a point, but it really friggin' sucks to keep doing this. Patrick Roy has to call an overtime, has to call a timeout in overtime to just relay the X's and O's. We should be beyond that. We're 25 games into the season. We should be beyond X's and O's, specifically in overtime, which we spend 25% of our season playing. I don't understand it. So let's get to some more comments here, because there's a few still that I haven't looked at. To Anthony again, Lou should be calling all GMs, finding out what he can get for Nelson, Palms, Casey, Wally, Pellick, Mayfield. Good luck on getting anything for Mayfield. I don't disagree, but we're not getting nothing for that. In the offseason, seriously think about if you can get a haul for Dobson. Now, that's an interesting one, specifically the last one. I know my co-host Matt O'Leary has kind of thrown this out as well, going like he would not be opposed to a Dobson trade. Obviously, it depends on what you get back for Dobson. His concern is that Dobson's going to be owed a big contract, and I don't think that, or he doesn't think that the Islanders should do something massive for Dobson. And what he means by that is somewhere around the range of like $9 million. He doesn't want to give him a 9x8. That's just too much for Noah Dobson, in his opinion. So if you can ship him off for a top line winger, a like 90-point top line winger, then maybe that's something that Matt O'Leary would look at. I'm a little bit more cagey on that, but I'm totally down with most of the names you listed here. The only ones I'm not down with is Mayfield and Dobson. But for Mayfield, I don't think you're going to get anything. Like, you might get future considerations, and then at that point, it's not worth it. Like, he's still a decent enough defenseman that he's worth more than what you would get back for him. Tim says this team has no heart or soul. And we kind of talked about that the last time in the last game, where there wasn't enough grit. The last one that they lost anyways. There was no grit in this team. And by grit, I really want to make sure I'm emphasizing that. I'm not saying they need Matt Martin to go out there and start beating up people. No, it's there's no, we saw it against, was it Buffalo, where they're getting into it and they're mucking it up, specifically when, you have these, we call it in French, an escarmouche in front of the net. When the guys converge in front of the net, you got some sandpaper and some grit there. They're not fighting. They're just getting in people's faces. They're telling them this is not okay. This is our area. Get the F out. Minimal. That's that minimum. And we don't have that right now. So it really seems like Tim is saying that there's no heart and soul here. There's no fight in the dog at this point, which will only get you so far, I will agree, but we don't even have that right now, and it's not getting us to the next level. And arguably, that's kind of what we're missing. Joe is looking to be my agent, which is very much appreciated, saying that we should run this team. I don't know if I do it better than Lou. He's got a whole lot more connections. His Rolodex is a lot bigger than mine, but I will take the job, New York Islanders, if you're looking to hire someone. Orbican, can we start losing in regulation for Higgins, please? I'm down with that. I'm totally down with getting Hop Hug native James Higgins. That would be ideal. But he might fall into the top 5, and we might be able to nab him, which would be great. Just for the story alone would be great, let alone the fact that he could be not a generational player, but a really, really good player, which is exactly what we need. Sloppy saying, to be honest, the worst thing is going to be seeing Laine's goal everywhere for the next few days. Yeah. How many of us, show of hands, knew the second that the tweet came out saying that Patrick Laine was in the lineup tonight that he would score? How many of us? I guarantee 99.9% of us thought, yeah, he's going to score. And I bet you that 80 to 90% of us didn't actually bet that. I thought about it, and I didn't bet it. I should have. It was plus money for Patrick Laine. I forget how much exactly, but anytime goal for Patrick Laine today would have paid. And we all thought it was going to happen, but most of us didn't bet it. I feel so dumb. I should have done it, and I didn't. I regret it. To Jeremy, who says, if Barzal, Duclair, and Pelech are in the lineup this past month, how many of these games do you think go the Islanders' way? That's interesting. Let's look at the last couple of games here. If I can go on Hockey Reference, I see Patty's speaking now, and he's going into detail into what he's talking about, but I can't hear him because I've got it on mute. But we'll talk about that on another podcast, I'm sure. Okay, let's flip this screen here. So in the month of November, you're saying in the past month, yeah. So the month of November, let's say. So they've got the loss against the Rangers. I don't think that would have changed much, although Barzal usually shows up for that. So take that with you will. They got 2 OT losses against the Devils and Oilers. Maybe at least one of those comes back as a win. So that'd be an extra point in the standings. They should beat the Kraken with those players in the lineup. The Kraken are just not good. Shootout loss to the Flames. Again, the Flames are not good, but maybe you got goalied around there because Dustin Wolf was out of his mind. So maybe that stays as a shootout win. So we're talking about at least 3 points more. Red Wings, I don't know. I think they were better than us, so that's fine. Red Wings, again, I think we were better there. We should have won that game. So that's another 2 points in the standings. Boston, they just did us dirty. Like we weren't winning that game. It just wasn't in the cards. And then Washington, I don't think we would have done more than an overtime loss. So I think there's another 3 straight up wins, which doesn't sound like a lot. I know, but that's more points on the board than we have right now. So that's how I see it, Jeremy. If we go through the shots, the actual game stats here, shots on goal, 31 for us, 27 for them. Big whoop. Face-offs, we got trounced in the face-off dot, which is not usual. It's usually the other way around. Power play or special teams, really, story of our life. 0% on our power play. They went 50% on theirs. Again, lost the game in special teams and overtime. Like the 3 things that have been issues for a while now continue to be an issue for this team, like demonstrably so. Penalty minutes 6-4, hits 32-37 for them. That's a lot of hits. Block shots 19 by them, which tells you how much puck we controlled. 9 for us. Giveaways 10 for us. I like that. That's pretty low. 13 for them. 3 takeaways to our 4. Let's keep going on some comments here because we've got quite a few. I don't know if I'll get to all of y'all, but I'll do my best. To Joe, on a positive note, Maxim Tsiplikov is tied for 4th in rookie scoring. Is Tsiplikov in play for Rookie of the Year? No. I would love that. I'm sure you guys would too. But he's not. Unless he wins the rookie scoring. Sorry, I wanted to get stats. Unless he actually wins the rookie scoring, then maybe. But because he's not, there's no way they're going to give it to him. He would have to pull an Artemi Panarin and like lead it by considerable margin for him to win it. Like the fact that you've got, what is it, a 19-year-old in Matvei Michkov, 4 points ahead of everyone else. That's to me, he's going to win it. He's definitely going to win it if that keeps up, right? He's 19. Yeah. He turns 20 in a week, in 6 days. So I don't know. To me, Matvei Michkov wins it. I don't think that there's a shot for Tsiplikov unless he goes on a tear and like really like destroys the rookie scoring race. Orbican, I think he'll be a finalist, but not win it with Mich, Stankoven, and Calabrini. Yeah, that's totally fair. This game felt so Islanders. The Isles may never win another game in Montreal. There's something to that, man. Like, obviously there's some heavy feels there, but like we got goalie today. We really did. The Islanders had, if I do the expected goals in all situations, let's do that. The Islanders had, share this tab instead, 3.92 expected goals in all situations to the 2.94 for the Montreal Canadiens. We should have scored 4. They should have scored 3. It would have been close, but we should have won this game in all situations again. But we didn't because we got goalie. Montembeault made a few really good saves that kept his team in the game again. Right? How many times has he done that for Montreal this year? A number of times, and they're still garbage. But we got goalied. We really did, which stinks, but that's just how it went today. Mike says Dobson's totally lost. There's something there. Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Dobson. He seems off. Same thing with Bo Horvat. Obviously, Bo Horvat hasn't scored, so it's easy to say he's off. But structurally, Bo's game seems off. And then the same thing here with Noah Dobson. There's something nagging at the core of these players that still needs to be sorted out. Maybe it's getting some of their original line mates back. For Dobson, that might be getting Romanov back on his line or on his pair. And for Bo Horvat, maybe it's getting Matthew Barzal and Duclair back as soon as humanly possible. So maybe there's some like just the fluctuations in the lines are getting them discombobulated, if you will. But there's something to what Mike is saying here. Andre, this team can't score more than 1 goal against second worst team in the league. Joke. Not wrong, Andre. Ledecky will fire Lou if UBS is empty. Yeah, but good luck on that. As empty as it might sound the last couple of times, it's not empty enough. And I'm not advocating to make it empty. There's no way Lou will survive this. Probably not. I think if this continues, he's done. There's no way they can miss the playoffs and Lou Lamoriello stays in a job. That's just not going to happen. Why are you doing this to us, Mitch? I take full blame. It's my fault for having this stream after a 2-1 loss to the Montreal Canadiens. I get it. It's my fault. Content, baby. Got to get that content, that sweet YouTube money, which I'm not getting. P.S. Subscribe, because it'll help us. Once we get over 1,000 subscribers, I can start getting paid for this, which would be great. Orbigan, I'm afraid they'll wait till the end of the season. So I've been speaking to my friend Ryan about that, and he made an interesting point. There's not much Lou can do to screw up this team by staying on, unless he just keeps Kyle Palmieri and Brock Nelson, which doesn't seem like something he'll do. He's just not going to do that just for the sake of keeping them. I know he's been a guy of like, I like the team we've got, but he's also a guy that's going to take the opportunities that have presented themselves for him. Like think back to moving the Johnny Boychuk contract after the Buffalo Sabres traded Jack Eichel. They needed to hit the cap floor. Lou said, I'm more than willing to help you out here, picking up a few draft picks and whatnot to do so. That was someone, picking up his opportunities, which is something he'll do here again, I'm sure, if and when the time comes to trade someone like Brock Nelson, Kyle Palmieri. And he's won a lot of his trades. He really has. Just look back at the trades that he's made, and he's won them, arguably. Maybe you'll say the Devontae's one he didn't win. Fair, but like he wasn't really put in an ideal situation. There's not a whole lot more he could have done there. Ideally, he trades Nick Leddy, but no one was trading for him. But the case is, Lou Lamoriello has done a good job of trading away players and getting fair value back. So I would fully expect him to do so if and when the time comes to trade Brock Nelson and Kyle Palmieri. So I think Orbican makes a point here that this probably going to be the end of the season when Lou Lamoriello goes and not before the trade deadline, if it comes to that. He's going to blame Engvall again. I didn't notice Engvall today at all whatsoever. Did he actually play? Did he actually play today? I don't think he was out there, was he? No, it was a game time decision with Cizikas playing. So he did not play. My eyes did not deceive me. No way season ticket holders will renew next year. Some won't. Some definitely won't. But that's something that we've heard for a while now, that season ticket holders won't renew. And I'm sure they've gone down because prices go up. The product is going down on the ice, but the prices keep going up. That's in and of itself going to force people out of the market. And now the team is getting even worse. More people will flood out. It's just to what degree. Is Lou eligible to collect Social Security? Is he on Medicare? I have no idea. I'm not American. I don't know what any of those mean. Well, I don't know the eligibility for that because it's way over my head. I have no idea what that is. Do you happen to have Lou Lamoriello's address per chance asking for a friend? I wish, because I would pay him a visit just to hang out and have berries in the morning. There's zero way Lou should be allowed to trade Dobson. Let the next GM decide. That would be a big call. That's someone that you don't have to. Sorry, Dobson is someone you don't have to trade in the offseason, right? He's an RFA. Just by qualifying, you hold his rights. You don't have to do anything there. State of Survival says, I got a feeling Nelson is going to Nashville. Trotz got Nelson to go from 20 goals to 30 plus. I think that could be a sleeper trade. I don't necessarily disagree. I kind of disagree. I just don't think that Barry is in a position to make that kind of trade. He himself has admitted that he's going to have to send pieces out because his team is underperforming. So unless Nashville all of a sudden jumps into a playoff position, I don't expect Barry to make that kind of move. I fully well expect Nelson to join the Minnesota Wild. They're the best team in the NHL based off record. He's a Minnesota native. He's going to go to the state of hockey to play if he becomes available. I bet that Lenny would score tonight. I'm so jealous of you. I'm so jealous, Nicholas. I should have done it. I don't know why I didn't. I think it popped in my mind and then it popped straight out afterwards. I should have friggin' done it. Good job by you. That's such a good thing by you. Oregon shouldn't have let the preseason get me excited. If only we got what we got in the Rings preseason game all season long. Yep. That's the thing with preseason. Very misleading, right? The Devils last year, undefeated in preseason. Not so much during the regular season. But Sipakov has more hits than all rookies. He's playing hockey the real way. Monty is occasionally one of the best goalies in the league. Okay, that's the problem. The occasion is when we play. That's the problem. Horvat needs his BF back. Absolutely. Empire, what is up? Friggin' wanted to win that, damn it. Yeah. And it was there. It was there. Again, the expected goal says we should have won. We had a ton of power play opportunities. Well, 3 power play opportunities. We did what we should have done. We put ourselves in a winning position. We just didn't do enough to get ourselves over the line, which is sad. It really is sad. And then when the time came to take the game, as in the power plays and overtime, we just didn't. We just didn't and decided not to, which is a goddamn shame because we deserved more. We, like us, deserved more than what we got in terms of final product tonight. We really did. An absolute shame. But the Islanders lose again, which is yet another shame. In terms of the standings, I imagine this is updated now. I've talked long enough. The Islanders are at the bottom of the Metropolitan Division. That is not okay. After the Columbus Blue Jackets, who have the same number of points as we do, but fewer games played. The Columbus Blue Jackets should not be a better team than us, even if it's just by tiebreakers. That shouldn't be the case. We should be somewhere around where Philly is right now. That's where we should be. The fact that where we are is embarrassing. Absolutely embarrassing. Like full on Letterkenny hockey coach kicking the garbage can. Absolutely embarrassing that we are where we are. This can't be a thing. At least we are playing way better in this game and Buffalo game. Yeah, but I don't know about you, but I'm kind of tired of being like, at least the underlying numbers are good. I'm kind of tired of hearing that. I want to see the overlying numbers be good. I want to see the goal totals go up. I want wins. You're right. You're right, Empire State. Like Empire State Construction LLC. This is funny that it's a company name. You're right. At least they're playing well underlying. I want overlying, which is wild. We went years saying the other way. Well, we're winning even though despite the underlying numbers. Can we not have both? Can we not have both? That would be ideal. And then last one here. Lou lives in Mahasset, Long Island. Saw him at a local drugstore, Walgreens. No joke. Please leave the man alone. Please, for the love of God, leave the man alone. Leave him alone. Do not go to Manhasset to try and find Lou Lamoriello. Do not. Please, for the love of God, leave the man alone. A decision will be made in terms of who is going to run this team going forward. It sucks to be where we are, but at least the Rangers have lost 6 out of 7. Right? If you're going to find any positive, the Rangers suck, and it's an absolute tire fire in their organization. A leak set everything on fire. Okay? Please leave Lou alone. The Rangers suck. That's all we need to know. On that note, I will leave you all on this. I won't be back doing a post game for a little bit. I have hockey on Thursdays. I might be here on Friday for the game or Saturday for the game, but Sunday I will be in attendance here in Ottawa when the New York Islanders are playing the Ottawa Senators. I'm bringing my 2 kids to the early game. First hockey game for the kids, first Islander game for them. I can't friggin' wait to share this with them as I share these with you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for following. Please hit the subscribe button. You have no idea how that helps us. Just by doing that, even if you don't sign up for notifications, hitting that button helps us so much. You have no idea. For Matt and me, thank you, thank you, thank you.